Hello and welcome to Simplicity Secrets. I am your host, Cindy Van Arnhem. I am a simplicity magician and I work with healers, coaches, spiritual teachers to help you go from survival to thrival. I used to work as a virtual assistant. I used to manage all the technology behind the scenes. And I had a belief that if I just worked a little harder, somehow I would create the financial freedom and the life of adventure that I wanted. Doesn't work that way. The more I tried to control, the less money I made. The more that I tried to work harder, the less money I made, and the more burnout and adrenal fatigue that I found in my body. And so I started looking for other solutions. I started looking for the answers. And I came across a woman named Joy Kingsborough, who is now my dear friend and business partner, and somebody that I deeply, deeply respect in her work that she brings into the world through Jonah, who is a stream of consciousness that she channels. In this work, she discovered the technology that we have available in the body. And this is not just something that she is aware of. Numerous people talk about this. Lots of people practice different techniques and ways of doing this. But through Joy and Jonah, she discovered a technique called quantum expansion, otherwise known as Q. You'll see us saying this all the time, hashtag do the Q. Q allows us to create simplicity, because complication is never the way of the universe. Complication is what happens when our ego minds get in the way. And Q is a way of using the technology in our bodies, of moving quantum energy in our body in order to create the experience that we desire. Now, it's important to remember that those of us who are using Q, who are doing Q often, who are facilitating Q, we have been training for months, and some of us for a few years, in how to use this technique. This is not something that you can just start doing. It is a process to learn how to do it. However, you will benefit from the effects of it when you work with a practitioner. So today I'm going to offer you a session of Q, an activation that allows you to step into the simplicity of choice. So as a master numerologist, one of the things that I love to do is check in with the energy of the day. So on today's recording, it is a 10 of clubs energy and a ruling number 3. There is a lot of mental chatter happening today. There's a lot of stuff going on, new ideas. Should I do this? Should I do that? I don't know if this is the way. We're being pulled in multiple different directions today because innovation is flowing through, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. But sometimes the mind can try to take over, and the ego mind starts doing the shoulds and the ought tos and the obligations and the hustle, the grind, the decision to try to get it all done, to try to get that to-do list checked off today. And it's really important to take a step back and navigate your energy. One of the things that we talk about in Mastering the Brain Game is PETA, prioritize energy, then take action. Not, I'll feel my feelings when I'm done my to-do list and make that a less priority, but rather to feel your feelings now so that you can make the best decisions for yourself. So if you have a list of 52 million things to do and you are trying to get it all done today, I invite you to take a step back and slow down for a moment as we run Q together. So long as you are not driving, if you are driving, please come back to the replay and do this. This is a deep energy practice, and so it's not something that you want to do if you're operating heavy machinery. However, if you are in a comfortable position and you are not driving or operating machinery, I'm going to invite you to join me and go ahead and close your eyes. And just bringing your awareness, by closing your eyes, you bring awareness into the body. And just go ahead and take a couple of deep inhale breaths. Just noticing the thoughts that are floating through the mind, allowing them to be there. There is nothing wrong. The mind is active, and that is good. And just continuing to hold your awareness on the breath As you breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. And noticing the space at the top of the head. Just bringing your mental awareness to that space. Noticing all the thoughts. Inviting the mind to put aside anything you were doing before this session. And to put aside anything that needs to be done afterwards. Inviting the mind to give yourself the gift of this time. Knowing that doing so will invite more simplicity into your life. Creating simplicity in the body creates simplicity in your environment and makes things easier. And just having that awareness at the space at the top of the head, noticing an opening at the top of the head. Noticing a curiosity at the top of the head. And noticing source energy, universal energy, swirling in the space at the top of the head. And inviting that energy, that source, universal energy, to pour down through the top of the head. Noticing that energy filling the spaces, filling the space behind the eyes and through the forehead and the back of the skull. Just noticing as that energy pours into the body. Making any adjustments to the body as universal energy pours down behind the nose and through the sinuses, down through the jaw and the mouth, noticing as that energy pours through the neck and down through the throat, activating the energy centers as it pours down across the shoulders. Noticing the tension releasing from the shoulders and down the spine. Universal energy pouring down through the arms, inviting it to fill all of the spaces between. Coming through the elbows, the forearms, and through the wrists, and into the palms of the hands. Noticing universal source energy pouring through each of the fingers, right through to the fingertips, in the spaces of the fingernails, and feeling and inviting universal energy to pour down through the chest, between each of the ribs, through the spaces of the lungs, and into the heart. And just noticing sensations rising up in the body, witnessing whatever needs to leave, letting it leave without judgment. And inviting source, universal energy to pour down through the belly and the lower parts of the body, and filling the spaces between and within the organs. Just inviting that energy to fill the spaces and permeate every cell of the body as we invite universal energy to nourish all of the spaces between. Pouring down through the base of the spine, between the hips and the sits bones. Noticing universal energy pouring down the legs, through the thighs and across the knees, down through the shins and the calves, filling all of the spaces in the legs as it pours down through the ankles, into the feet, through the tippy toes, and into the floor. And just noticing your connection to universal energy and the earth. Noticing that you are a conduit for this energy to flow through the body with ease. And bringing your mental awareness to the space just in front of the forehead. Imagine a ball of energy swirling in that space. And bringing your intention to mind, whatever it is that you're focused on today, what experience you'd like to have. Just inviting all of the thoughts and imagery and ideas of that intention to fold into this ball of energy in the space in front of the forehead. Just imagining this ball of energy soaking up all the ideas in the mind. All of the ideas and thoughts and imagery swirling in this ball of energy. You begin to notice the ball of energy floating down into the space of the heart. Noticing that the heart welcomes this ball of energy with open arms. Inviting the ball of energy into the space of the heart. The heart begins to amplify the love of the idea in this space. Noticing the sensations in the heart as the heart accepts your ideas, welcomes your ideas, and invites the amplification of love for your ideas, for your intention. Feeling the space in the heart, amplifying and expanding with more love for your intention. Noticing any sensations, noticing any imagery, remembering that all is welcome and all belongs. Just allowing yourself to notice what you notice. Falling in love with your intention. accepting the pieces of your intention that you do not yet experience, accepting the pieces of your intention that feel out of reach, and pouring the love into that intention, being willing to accept what is so that you can accept what's next. Noticing the love of your intention as the heart is expanding and expanding, and love begins to pour out of the body, filling all of the spaces around you. All of that love mingling with your intention as your intention pours into the room with all of that love. And bringing your awareness to the space just below the heart, into the belly, where your desire for creation and expression live. Just feeling into that space and noticing what you notice. Inviting the awareness of the desire for what's next. Allowing yourself to be open and curious. And inviting in the question, what do I do next? What is my next action? Knowing that I do not need to know all of the steps. I only ask for the next step. Noticing the sensations or any imagery. Noticing any thoughts that arise. And inviting in the sensation of faith, the sensation of trust. Knowing that whatever arose is your next step. Inviting yourself to trust that next step. And asking yourself if you are willing to choose that step. And if you feel willing, I invite you to bring your awareness to the space behind the eyes and gently open the eyes and go do that next step. And if nothing arose for you, that's okay. I invite you to stay in this space as long as you like, knowing that you are loved, that we believe in you, and we see your power. And perhaps what's next for you is to begin to trust just a little bit more. I welcome you to stay in this space. Thank you for joining me today. Please be sure to subscribe for further activations as I release a new activation every week. And have a beautiful, wonderful week. Bye for now.